Here's 3 reasons why language apps won't make you fluent in a different language. I'm James, I'm native in English and I can speak Spanish and Italian. I help people reach a conversational level in a different language. Reason number 1, if you want to get to a level where you can converse and have a spoken conversation in your target language, then you have to practice having conversations in that language. Duolingo and Memrise and apps like that won't help you get to a conversational level because it uses exercises. It's great for learning vocabulary and new words and phrases, but if you're wanting to get to a conversational level in a different language, you need more than just using these apps. These apps help to an extent, but don't expect to be conversational or reach any level of fluency just using these apps. And I mentioned Duolingo and Memrise in that, but there's many other apps that allow you to have little short and sweet exercises to help you get better at a language. There's pros and cons to each, and it's good that you're using the app versus nothing at all. So it's good, but it's a small part of the whole equation. And also you'll know that in order to be able to speak and listen to a language, your brain has to be used to using it and conversing on a regular basis. So you could learn a new word on Duolingo or Memrise or a similar app like that, but then you have to use it in order for your brain to get used to the context to which it should be used. Reason number 2, the type of responses that you have and the time periods that you can respond to on the apps with exercises doesn't resemble the real life situations. So in real life, when someone says something to you, you have to think and process it and then think of an answer replying back to them once you've thought of your answer to them. So it takes a lot of quick processing in your mind and forming the words and phrases. So that's why it's quite a lot more difficult in real life to have a conversation. Language apps like Duolingo or Memrise or things like that, you have got time to think about where the words go and to think what's correct and what isn't, then press continue or then press OK, and then it takes you to the next part of the exercise. So although it's good for learning vocabulary, it's not as good for representing what you'd expect in real life. If someone asks you a question, you've not got enough time to think or to rearrange the words and then reply back to them. It has to be instantaneous. And language apps don't teach you how to understand and reply to a different language in that amount of time. In real life, if you're at a conversational level or at a certain level of fluency in a different language, when someone says something to you in that language, you don't translate into your native language. You just feel what it means. And this is only possible once you've had enough exposure and your brain's got used to feeling what the language is, so you don't have to translate from the target language into your native language. So it's developed over time after continuous exposure to it. And speaking with native speakers or even passively listening to language is the best way forward for that. And that brings me on to point number 3. You need more than just language apps to get to a conversational level in a different language. You need exposure from different angles. So from watching TV series, from movies, from reading books and listening to music and listening to podcasts. You need to be able to train your ears, your mouth in speaking. You need to be able to see the language written down ideally so you can see what the words look like. And also you need to be able to read to understand what's being said, say if it's on a book or something. So when I list these things, they're all called exposure. So in order to be able to acquire or get good at a language, you need regular exposure at times even when you can't be bothered to do it. So the best thing to counteract that is have exposure in topics that interest you. If you're just starting out, that can be quite difficult. So watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts that are really slowed down, and slow it down as much as you can. Put it on maybe 0.8 times speed or even less, just to get an idea of what they're talking about. But if you focus on subjects that you like and you get good at that, then it makes it a lot easier to keep on doing that and keep exposing yourself to the language in the long term because it revolves around your interests anyway. So in summary, language apps are great for learning new vocabulary and a bit of grammar and learning different phrases and common words that you can say when out and about. However, they won't get you fluent because you need different aspects from various different angles of exposure, and also you need that ability to understand what's being said, quickly understand how to respond and what you want to say back to the person, and then have a conversation. This is relevant if you want to have a conversation or you want to reach a conversational level in a different language by speaking and listening. So while language apps can help you to some extent, they're only part of a bigger puzzle, and you should use them in conjunction with other things as well, like watching TV shows, movies and podcasts. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this content, feel free to subscribe and give this video a like. Thanks.